How's it going, everyone? It's Hit, and in this video we're checking out how the Komplete Kontrol S series keyboards can control the Maschine software. I will show you what all the controls on the front panel do in the Maschine software, and after that we'll make a short beatmaking demonstration of how it all works. Let's get right into the video. First of all, I have to say that the Komplete Kontrol keyboard is really good for controlling the Maschine software. However, there are a couple of things that I'm missing, so it's really awesome to complement your machine controller. But the things that the Komplete Kontrol keyboard cannot do is basically access the sampling section. Sampling is not available at all, and you cannot really do that from the Komplete Kontrol keyboards. Another thing I didn't find a way of doing is applying swing from the keyboard. You can do it with your mouse, and again, if you use it to complement your Maschine controller, this is not really a problem. If you're not sampling, I think the Komplete Kontrol keyboards are actually enough to have very good hands-on control of all the necessary basic features. On the Maschine software, you can even edit your effects, add effects, load sounds, delete MIDI notes. It is very flexible, so unless you're sampling, I think it can definitely be a viable option for your only controller for the Maschine software. So let's see how it all works. Okay, let's start with an overview of the controls in the front panel. Shift button activates the secondary feature of each button. With scale, you activate the automatic scale, and by going to the edit, you can edit them in more detail, including activating the chord mode. And these are exactly the same as in the Komplete Kontrol software and work exactly the same as they would work on the Maschine controller. I won't go into the details of these features. You also have the ARP section, where you can activate the ARP, which plays an arpeggio based on the settings again. If you go to the edit page of the ARP, we have all the features that we can change to customize our ARPs. We've got the undo and redo buttons. We got the quantize button, and the quantize button, when we hold it, we have the option to activate or deactivate the grid and change the note values that our notes will be quantized to. The actual quantize button is up here, and I'm very happy that we have the quantize 50% option, which helps us retain our groove. Really useful. One thing that I'm missing though on the Komplete Kontrol keyboard is to be able to apply swing. I don't see if there's an option to do that, and if someone knows how to do that from the Komplete Kontrol keyboard, drop me a comment. We've got the automation mode, which basically enables us to record parameter changes when we activate this mode. Loop activates and deactivates the loop, and on the Maschine software it only applies to the song mode. Metronome on and off. The tempo control works by holding the button and setting the tempo with the first encoder. The play, record and stop buttons with their restart feature and counting feature by pressing shift, they're pretty self-explanatory. Muting and soloing of the actual selected track, or as it's called in Maschine, group. Preset up and down button, you can scroll through the list of presets that you have in the browser. So this basically scrolls between all the results that you have filtered through applying all the filters down here. If we are in plugin mode, basically these arrows show us the different pages, so we can have access to each and every page of our sampler or the effects or any other devices that we have loaded in our Maschine project. The scene button shows us our scenes, and we can add scenes by pressing the plus button here. I will undo that. And we can actually select different patterns from each group to play with by scrolling with the encoder. We have access to our pattern editing, and we can change the position where the pattern starts, the length of the pattern, and we can select different sounds, and we can also see their note on the second screen. The track button shows us what groups we have loaded. Clicking on the plus sign, we can add more groups. I will again undo that. And while we hold down the track button, we can actually select which sounds we're playing with the key. So now I have the kick being played up and down the keyboard, and I can change it to the snare. So basically by holding the track button, we add new groups or select which sounds we're playing. And the logical question would be, how do I actually play the whole drum kit from the keys, being able to play multiple sounds at the same time? And this is very easy, just pressing the key button, and this maps us the drum kit where each pad corresponds to a separate key, basically like it would work on the actual machine controller. And the keys that correspond to these sounds, they are lit up in the color of the group. So this is our kick, snare, hi-hat, open hi-hat, and so on. So that's pretty easy. The clear button has different uses depending on where you are on the screens. So for example, if we are in plugin mode and we press the clear button, this deletes the actual sound. So as you can see, our sound number 2 was deleted, no longer available. I will undo that. If we hold down the pattern, we can actually use the clear button to delete our MIDI notes. I will show this in a moment while I demonstrate the beat making workflow. And if we hold down the track button, pressing clear actually deletes the whole group. So now we don't have anything loaded in the project. The encoders and the buttons, they're pretty self-explanatory. They control the parameters underneath and below them. And the last section, here to the right, we got the 4-directional encoder, which basically allows us to navigate between our groups if we press it to the left or to the right. And this is our browser section, plugin section, which enables us to edit the parameters of our devices. The mixer controls, really useful. And with the 4-directional encoder, we can scroll between our sounds here. Or if we nudge it upwards, we switch between controlling the mixer of all the groups in the project, or if we nudge it down, we control the actual mixer of the sounds in the group that we are on at any given moment. The instance button enables us to switch between different instances of the machine software when we use it in our DAW. MIDI button enables us the basic MIDI mode, so we are not controlling the machine software in this mode. So this is our basic MIDI mode. And the setup button enables us to change the brightness of the displays and the velocity curve of the keys. Okay, so starting from an empty project now, let's see how it all works in practice. Going to the browser, and I'm gonna load this kit from Backyard Jams. Press down the encoder to load it, and it's now loaded in group A. I'm gonna press the key mode, so I have all the drums spread out on the keys. I have this hi-hat loop that's loaded in an audio module. It's not in a sampler. So how do we check that? Of course, we can hold the track button, scroll, and have a look at this one. And we see the audio device. So let me first record this so I have it down in my pattern. So now we have this audio loop laid down in our pattern as audio, so we can play drums on top of it. I'm gonna press Shift and record, so we can record with the count in. So the hi-hat is a bit too loud. Let me turn it down and go to my mixer. If I have it selected, I can turn it down from the main encoder or from the encoders corresponding to the actual sound. So this is the one, and I'm gonna be turning it down. Let me turn off the metronome. I want to turn down the whole group so I don't have clipping on my master channel as I add more sounds to this project. So I just nudge the encoder upwards and I can turn down the group like maybe about 4 dB. So I have a bit of headroom. Go back to my plugin section. So let me add another group, holding down the track button, pressing the plus sign, and just going to look for a instrument, and I'm gonna be looking at a contact piano I wanna use. Just a basic Rhodes piano. I like the basic contact Rhodes piano, not bad at all. I filtered all the electric pianos. I'm gonna use the Mark I Classic. Yeah, so let's record the Rhodes piano. So if I want to record this once again, like I said, to delete the notes, I need to go into the pattern mode and then I can delete the notes. Let me add some effects to the piano just to see how it works. Go into my plugin mode, and with the 4-directional encoder, I push it to the right, and now I am right next to my contact instrument, and if I press down, I see all the built-in effects. I'm gonna add reverb and scroll to the right again, add a lo-fi, and I can edit all the settings here, as you can see, and I can go and add even more stuff, maybe add a filter. Let's add a new group. Go to the browser and find a bass sound. And I can use these preset up and down buttons to scroll through presets. So thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Drop a comment if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already, and if you find this content useful. See you in the next video.